They cut their tent open from the inside and ran into 30-degree darkness barefoot. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass mystery. And today we will break down what happened on that frozen night when 9 hikers suddenly left their tent and disappeared into one of the most unexplained cases in history. In the winter of 1959, deep inside the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers set out on a journey that would end in one of the most disturbing mysteries in modern history. They weren't amateurs. They were trained, disciplined, and used to surviving harsh conditions. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, was known for being methodical and cautious. Every decision he made on the trail was calculated, which is why what happened next makes no sense. The journey begins. The group, young, energetic, and confident, began their expedition in late January. Their goal was to reach a remote mountain called Otorten, a difficult but achievable climb for hikers of their level. The journey wasn't easy. Strong winds, deep snow, and freezing temperatures constantly tested them. But they pressed on, documenting their trip with photos and journal entries. In those early days, everything seemed normal: smiles, laughter, teamwork. Then one member fell ill and turned back. That decision saved his life. The remaining 9 continued forward, unaware that they were walking into something they would never escape. The last camp on February 1st, the group set up camp on a slope of a mountain later named after their leader, Dyatlov Pass. The conditions were brutal. Winds howled across the open slope. Snow piled up rapidly. Visibility dropped. It wasn't an ideal place to camp, but for some reason they stopped there instead of moving to safer ground below. That night, something happened. We don't know exactly what, but we know how they reacted, and that's where the fear begins. The escape into death. Sometime in the darkness, the hikers made a decision that defies logic. Instead of using the tent exit, they cut their way out from the inside. Think about that. 9 experienced survivalists, choosing panic over procedure. They didn't even take proper clothing. Many of them fled into the night wearing only socks or underwear, into temperatures that could kill within minutes. No boots, no coats, no light. Just darkness, snow, and whatever they were running from. The search weeks passed with no contact. Eventually, search teams were sent out. When they reached the campsite, the first clue sent chills through everyone involved. The tent. It was still standing, partially collapsed under snow, but clearly intact enough to provide shelter, except it had been sliced open from the inside. Inside, everything was left behind. Shoes neatly placed, warm clothing untouched, personal belongings scattered but not stolen. It looked like the hikers had left in a hurry, but not because of an attack from outside. Something inside, or something approaching, had made them flee. But the first bodies following footprints leading away from the tent, rescuers discovered the first 2 bodies near a forest edge. They were barefoot, frozen, under a tree. Nearby were signs of a small fire, weak, desperate, quickly extinguished by the cold. One of the men had skin damage on his hands, as if he had tried to climb the tree in panic, or to escape something on the ground. Why climb a tree in a blizzard? What were they trying to see or avoid? Over time, the remaining bodies were found. Each discovery made the mystery darker. 3 hikers were found, positioned as if they were trying to return to the tent. They never made it. The last 4 were discovered months later, buried under snow in a ravine. And this is where the story turns deeply unsettling. Some of the hikers didn't just freeze, they were broken. One had crushed ribs, like from a powerful impact. Another had a fractured skull. One woman was missing her tongue and parts of her face. Yet, strangely, there were no external wounds matching those internal injuries. No cuts, no signs of a struggle, no blood on the surface. It was as if an invisible force had hit them from within. Doctors later said the damage resembled the kind of trauma seen in car accidents. But there were no cars, no cliffs high enough, no evidence of a fall, just snow. As investigators dug deeper, more disturbing clues surfaced. Some clothing showed traces of radiation. Witnesses in nearby areas reported seeing glowing orange lights in the sky that night. The group's camera contained photos, some normal, some blurred, one appearing to show a shadowy figure in the distance. Each clue raised more questions than answers. The Soviet investigation concluded with a vague statement. The hikers died due to a compelling natural force. No clear cause, no detailed explanation. The case was closed. Over the years, countless theories have tried to explain the incident. Avalanche, military testing, infrasound panic, hypothermia-induced behavior. Some even suggest more extreme ideas. But here's the problem. No single theory explains everything. Not the injuries, not the radiation, not the behavior. In 2020, Russian authorities reopened the case. After new analysis, they concluded that an unusual type of avalanche was the most likely cause. Combined with strong winds and poor visibility, the hikers may have panicked and fled. It sounds reasonable, but many experts still aren't convinced, because even if an avalanche explains the escape, it doesn't fully explain what happened after. Strip away the theories, and what remains is this. 9 intelligent, capable people made a sudden, unified decision to abandon safety and run into certain death. That kind of behavior doesn't come from nothing. It comes from fear. Intense, overwhelming fear. The kind that makes you choose freezing over staying where you are. The wind is screaming outside. The tent shakes violently, snow piles against the fabric. Then something changes. A sound, a movement, a pressure building. Someone reacts first. Then the others follow. Panic spreads. A knife cuts through the tent wall. Cold air floods in. And within seconds, they're running. Not walking, not thinking. Running into darkness. It's not just the mystery, it's the psychology. Humans are wired to survive, to seek shelter, to stay warm. But these hikers did the opposite, which leaves one terrifying possibility. Whatever they experienced inside that tent felt more dangerous than freezing to death outside. Today, the location remains quiet. Snow covers the ground. Wind whispers across the slopes. Nothing moves. Nothing speaks. But the story lingers, a reminder that sometimes the scariest part of history is not what we know, but what we never will. All right, so this was Dyatlov Pass Mystery. For more crazy real-life history stories, subscribe and hit the bell icon.